Welcome to Inside Marquette Basketball. I'm Sophia Minert here with Marquette's head coach, Shaka Smart. We're here at the Al McGuire Center, home of Marquette men's basketball. And coach, it's been a great stretch for your team since the last time we spoke. 4-game winning streak here. You guys are now 5-1 in the Big East Conference, and seems like things are starting to click. Coach, just looking at this 4-game stretch, what do you think has been the biggest key of how you've been able to win these games?
Well, I think the biggest thing for us has been continued growth. We talked about going into the season, our goal is to grow as much as any team in the country between the end of the summer and the end of the school year. And so here we are in early January. The season's gone fast. We've been playing games for over 2 months now. And I really think to a man, every one of our players has shown significant growth. But the exciting thing is we still have a lot more room for more improvement and more development and more understanding of what goes into winning. Lately, we've been a little bit ahead on the offensive end compared to where we've been on the defensive end. For our coaching staff, that's certainly something we talk about every day and work on in practice, because we know at the end of the season to be playing our best basketball, we've got to be excellent on both ends.
And Coach, you mentioned the offense. I think what's interesting about this 4-game winning streak and how you've won these games, you look at Villanova, your team scores 68 points, you win by 2, and then you've got some huge offensive games like St. John's and most recently Georgetown at home, where you're scoring in the 90s. You're scoring 96 points. So you look at that difference. What does that say about your offense of being able to win games differently?
Yeah, in our league, there's a lot of different styles that the other teams play, and as much as you want to impose your style on the game, sometimes the other team does play a 50% role in dictating the style of the game. And that Villanova game was actually pretty high scoring in the first half, and then in the second half, we told our guys, hey, we can't give up 44 points in a half and win. And we've got to be way better. We made some adjustments, and our guys did a great job really, honing in on some of the details on the defensive end, and we were able to hold them to 22 points. They held us, to a lower number as well, but fortunately our guys were able to execute and make the plays we needed to make down the stretch.
The last 3 games, your team has been behind at half, and you've been able to make adjustments. Considering, the group you have, the players you have, for them to be able to make those adjustments, Coach, what does that say about their growth?
Well, I think it's a double-edged sword, Sophia. I think on one hand, you feel good about the fact that our guys have really responded well coming out of the locker room at halftime. They've been connected with each other, which is the most important thing. They've been really locked in on some of the X and O adjustments that we've asked them to make. And most importantly, they've played really, really hard. On the other hand, you don't want to go into the locker room with a deficit. You'd like to go into the locker room ahead, and if you can be ahead, 6, 8 or more points, that really gives you a lift going into the second half. But again, with the group that we have the ability to grow, and there's still a lot of room and area for us to understand. As we say, there's low-hanging fruit for us to go grab to be better.
After the Georgetown win, you spoke about that, about your team, kind of the challenge that they have is being in the present moment, and you want them to continue to press their advantages. You said, we've got to be our way. When this team is playing at its best, what does that look like?
Well, it starts with who we are culturally. We break everything down on our team in 3 areas, and obviously they're very, very related, but cultural, defensive, and offensive. And so culture is just how we act, how we interact, and how we respond. So when you see our guys really connected, when you see our guys giving each other a lot of EGBs, when you see a ton of emotion and excitement out there, that's who we are, that's how we act. And then our response, there's a lot of things that happen over the course of a basketball game. The way you respond has everything to do with what happens next. So our culture is how we act, interact, and respond. And that really has to be the foundation for what we do on both ends of the floor, offense and defense. So our way is what goes into us being the way that we want to be culturally, the relationships our guys have, their focus on each other and making each other better, and then being lost in the fight. Defensively, our way is to play with energy, get our hands on the basketball, cover for each other, 5 guys working together. And then on the offensive end, we really want to move the ball, we want to play with pace, we want to be an unselfish team. The 29 assists against Georgetown was a really exciting number to see. Of course, when you have one guy, Tyler, that gets 15, that makes it a whole lot easier to get to 29. But getting the type of shots we want to get, we want to shoot a lot of open threes, we want to shoot around the paint, deep paint as much as we can. We want to get to the foul line more. So those are all the things that go into playing our way.
You mentioned Tyler, 15 assists, 0 turnovers against Georgetown. He was just too shy of the Marquette record. And in this 4-game winning streak, 39 assists for him to just 3 turnovers. Is this Tyler playing at his best, or do you think there's still room for him to continue driving this offense?
I don't know if I'll ever tell you that there's not still room, particularly for a guy while he's in college. But what you do see from Tyler is true growth from the standpoint of his confidence, his reads on the floor, his quickness mentally, being a step ahead of the play. And I think he probably was a little mad at me the other night. I didn't even know he had 15 assists. I don't really look at that individual assist or scoring numbers during the game, and I didn't know what the school record was either, so he came out and he's like, "Come on, coach." But I do believe he led us in minutes for the game, so it's not like he was way under what other guys were getting. And the game was, I think 20-something point deficit at that point, so it was time to sub.
That's the next challenge, though, right? Go for 17. Give him
That's
something
right.
else to go for.
Yeah, there's several other opportunities, moving forward to go get more assists.
Shaka Smart's interview is presented by Wintrust, Wisconsin's bank, the official banking partner of Marquette University.
Golden Eagles fans, open a Marquette checking account with Wintrust Wisconsin's bank today and score golden perks like a $50 opening bonus, free ATMs nationwide, and your very own exclusive MU Golden Eagles debit card. Rep the blue and gold at home or on the road. And don't miss this golden opportunity to let everyone know. Scan now to open your account today. Wintrust Wisconsin's bank, proud to be the official bank of Marquette University.
Now's the time for a healthy start. So let's move. Let's rest and recharge. And put our health first. Let's be well. To do that, let's eat well. Breathe deep. Find joy in the little moments. And do what we love with who we love. Together, let's live well. Aurora Healthcare.
When you've been injured, you need a winning team on your side. Call Gruber Law Offices today, a proud partner of Marquette Athletics. Gruber Law Offices. One call, that's all.
We first opened during the Great Depression, and we've been open for over 85 years now. Through everything that's come our way, we've stayed open by working to make life easier, better, and fresher. By making a real difference in the communities we serve. And by being the kind of place where your money always goes a little further. That's why we're open. Come see for yourself.
Inside Marquette basketball continues here with head coach Shaka Smart at the Al McGuire Center. And coach, we were just talking about just the terrific play of Tyler Kolek offensively, how he's sharing the ball. And there was a lot written about your offense in a recent athletic article written by CJ Moore, just about the identity of your offense, how it's evolved, how your themes have evolved. And you said that Tyler's the best passer that you've ever coached. But there was a lot in there about Oso Ighodaro as well, and Tyler calling him Point Oso. So what does that do for your offense when...
Tyler does not deserve credit for that nickname.
Okay, that's your nickname.
We said .0 last year. I think as a coach, part of your job is to have a vision of what a guy can be. And to me, Oso, we saw this from him last year in practice more, and we felt like it was something we needed to bring to bear in the games more this year. Could be a terrific playmaker, could be a guy that, has the ball in his hands, creating in different ways for his teammates, putting the defense in a bind, and he's done a great job of that.
And in that article as well, you talked about how you want your guys to approach the offense in terms of their shot selection. The focus being deep in the paint, open threes. How have they bought into that?
This year's group's bought into it extremely well. We have a goal each game to get 80% of our shots, Sophia, in either the deep paint or an open three-point shot. Now, of course, when you play a great defensive team, their goal is to take those very same shots away. So, you know, it'll be a great opportunity for us to see how strong we can be in our commitment to going to get those shots we want. But on the season, we are averaging about 82-83% of the shots we've taken have been the shots we want.
How much of that starts, Coach, with your starting lineup, which has been one of the most efficient, most productive groups across the country?
Well, it's interesting because last year we started a lineup that was a little more defensive minded. This year's starting group, you add Cam into it, you know, he's Mr. Offense, and you know we're on him about continuing to get better at defense, and he is and he will. You have Stevie, who's been added to it, and Stevie has been just terrific on the defensive end and a real rock for us. And there's games where he gives us really big offensive lifts. He scored double figures in the Villanova game, he scored double figures in the Georgetown game, but then also with just the unique things that he brings on the offensive end. So it makes that lineup a little bit more potent offensively, and the flip side is we need to keep getting better with that lineup on the defensive end.
One quick follow-up on Stevie. We talked about him last time, and he delivered a career performance in the Villanova game. He's now been in double figures the last 3 games. How's this offense different when Stevie is producing like that offensively?
Well, you know, we have a type of shooting that we do in practice. I can't say the name of it because it's not a PG name, but it's basically a way of, you know, shoot the ball the normal way you do, but you express something verbally to say, I don't care about this shot other than I'm going to shoot it the right way, and I'm not caught up in the result. I'm not worried about it. I'm just going to let it go. And so Stevie's been doing a lot of that type of shooting in practice. Well, it's amazing what happens when you kind of free your mind. You can get back to being a good shooter because he is a good shooter.
Inside Marquette Basketball is brought to you by Aurora Healthcare. Live well to be well.
Now's the time for a healthy start. So let's move. Let's rest and recharge. And put our health first. Let's be well. To do that, let's eat well. Breathe deep. Find joy in the little moments. And do what we love with who we love. Together, let's live well. Aurora Healthcare.
Golden Eagles fans, open a Marquette checking account with Wintrust Wisconsin's Bank today and score golden perks like a $50 opening bonus, free ATMs nationwide, and your very own exclusive MU Golden Eagles debit card. Rep the blue and gold at home or on the road. And don't miss this golden opportunity to let everyone know. Scan now to open your account today. Wintrust Wisconsin's Bank, proud to be the official bank of Marquette University.
Mom! So I left.
Become who you're truly meant to be. Marquette University. Be the difference.
We first opened during the Great Depression, and we've been open for over 85 years now. Through everything that's come our way, we've stayed open by working to make life easier, better, and fresher. By making a real difference in the communities we serve. And by being the kind of place where your money always goes a little further. That's why we're open. Come see for yourself.
Welcome back to Inside Marquette Basketball, here with head coach Shaka Smart at the Al McGuire Center. And coach, we've spent a lot of time talking about how well your team is playing, and I know you rely on the depth of your roster and your lineup, so we spent some time talking about the starting lineup, but the bench has been really huge as well. I want to ask you about David Joplin and how he's contributing to this team's winning streak as well.
Well, Jop is a unique player, and he's someone that I said way back at the beginning of his freshman year, I said, Jop, you're going to lead the Big East in scoring as a senior. And he looked at me kind of funny because nowadays, you know, players don't really want to hear much about that far in advance. I said, if you want to do it sooner, you can, but you know, we got a lot of work to do and in a lot of different areas. And I think he's shown a ton of growth. He's such a unique player for our team because between him and Cam Jones, they're the two guys that you can count on the most to just go get a basket. And Jop's a guy, when he comes in the game, there's a lot of different things he can do to just give us a big offensive lift.
You mentioned your freshman, Ben Gold, was one that you specifically mentioned after the Georgetown game. And Ben, with the extended minutes he got in that Georgetown game, how have you seen him continue to just grow in his role?
I love Ben Gold. I mean, he's a guy that, to me, has as much or more potential than anyone on our team. But he's not yet gotten to the point where you can see in his eyes that he knows that. So one of the things that I do with him is after every game, I have Deshaun Wells, our video coordinator, add his highlights from the last game to an ongoing highlight tape, and then I'll send it to him. And so it's got literally highlights from the first game all the way through our most recent game. And obviously it gets longer and longer. But I want him to watch, and I tell him, watch this multiple times every day, because I want you to see yourself making threes, driving to the basket, dunking the ball, getting rebounds, getting block shots. He's got a lot of potential, so he's doing a great job, as are Sean and Chase.
And Chase was scoring in double figures. I think it was 10 points for him against Georgetown. He has such a unique skill set, and you've said he's such a fluid player. You can put him with any lineup and he will do well. How are we starting to see Chase's skill set come out the more that we see him on the floor?
I've just been really impressed by Chase. I'm so glad that he's here, and I think he's a guy that has a lot in common as a player with some of the best players of late that have played here. You know, the Jimmy Butlers, the Wesley Matthews, the Jarrell McNeils. Those guys had a toughness about them. They had a versatility about them. They could defend so many different positions. They could rebound for their size. They could attack and score around the basket, but they also could shoot the ball outside. And they had a quality about them that really, with Chase, I sum up in one word: dude. You know, he's a guy out there. And I'm excited about the growth he's making. You can see his confidence growing with each game.
All right, Coach mentioned some of the former Marquette greats, and there was a very special reunion here in Milwaukee over the summer. We'll take a look at it coming up next.
Inside Marquette Basketball is presented by Gruber Law Offices. One call, that's all.
Injuries can affect every part of your life. Trust our team at Gruber Law Offices to get you back in the game. Gruber Law Offices, a proud partner of Marquette Athletics. One call, that's all.
Golden Eagles fans, open a Marquette checking account with Wintrust Wisconsin's Bank today and score golden perks like a $50 opening bonus, free ATMs nationwide, and your very own exclusive MU Golden Eagles debit card. Rep the blue and gold at home or on the road. And don't miss this golden opportunity to let everyone know. Scan now to open your account today. Wintrust Wisconsin's Bank, proud to be the official bank of Marquette University.
Now's the time for a healthy start. So let's move. Let's rest and recharge. And put our health first. Let's be well. To do that, let's eat well. Breathe deep. Find joy in the little moments. And do what we love with who we love. Together, let's live well. Aurora Healthcare.
We first opened during the Great Depression, and we've been open for over 85 years now. Through everything that's come our way, we've stayed open by working to make life easier, better, and fresher, by making a real difference in the communities we serve, and by being the kind of place where your money always goes a little further. That's why we're open. Come see for yourself.
Inside Marquette Basketball is presented by Wintrust, Wisconsin's Bank, the official banking partner of Marquette University. Aurora Healthcare, live well to be well. And by Gruber Law Offices. One call, that's all.
Inside Marquette basketball continues here, and over the summer in early August there was a very special reunion, the 20th anniversary of the 2003 Final Four team. Head coach Tom Crean was back in town along with all of the players from that Final Four team. It was a very special reunion weekend, the first time they had all been back together. Here's a look at some of the highlights from that day.
I think it's really unique in the sense that this doesn't happen often, how close everybody has remained. They're a great group of guys, always hard driving, hard working, fun loving, but really, really serious about being great teammates. And I think when you have that and the competition that you have amongst each other that still is there today and will definitely be apparent when they get out there on the golf course with each other.
Oh! Our team was so special and so close, and that continues 20 years later when, obviously we're all living different lives, but when we come back, it's like we never left the locker room together.
The stories get better, just like fishing. How many points you average and all that stuff, it goes up. So it's just been fun to get everyone back.
It's a good putt.
We clutch around here. When we get around each other, we all just, we like the locker room. We just rag on each other. We tell stories about each other. And it's good for us. I went to sleep last night, just my soul felt happy. Just like 2003, still carrying dinner. Take off. You're supposed to take off. That's the take off. Let me do it again. Just like 2003.
I was going to,
Do you give maybe Dwayne a hard time because you're still playing? I mean, you're just fresh off the court.
It turns into like, I know I can still beat him, and he's obviously one of the greatest to ever play, but he's old, and he's got bad knees, and I'm old, and I have bad legs too, but I'm better than him right now. And
yeah, that sounds like Travis. I mean, if anybody know Diener, of course he's going to say that, and we all know it's a lie, but some lies is needed for individuals. He need that.
No, but we go at it. The older you get, how good you think you are still will never, the ego takes over. So yeah, we go back and forth.
It wasn't pretty, but we got out of there.
You see all this muscle, he can't. I just beat him up a little bit, like I used to do when we were roommates.
Good start.
Carry him. I've been carrying him.
It's great though. We went through so many different things, and I went into the old gym yesterday for the first time since I've been gone. It was a powerful time for me. I mean, because we forged that team inside that gym. That was the last team that played in that gym. And what those guys did inside of that gym not only led to winning, but it led to a great, great standard and foundation of what Marquette basketball is all about and what continues to be under Shaka.
And Shaka, has high expectations, as he should. He's a great coach. The program's in great hands. But I was telling Shaka last night, I was like, look, can you guys go back? Can you get to the Final Four so they can kind of forget about us?
Going back to the 1977 team, that's all we heard about when we were here at school. So, and I'm sure these guys, who are the current players are getting tired of hearing about the 2003 squad. So they're going to have to do something about it so they can get remembered as well.
I remember talking to the George Thompsons of the world, the Butch Lees of the world, the Bo Ellis of the world, the Doc Rivers of the world, like all the Marquette greats and the teams, and we just wanted to be a part of it. I remember us talking about it, like we want to be remembered.
Marquette alums and former players take a lot of pride in how the team's doing. It speaks volume to, how important basketball is to the university in general. I think when the basketball team's doing well, it just creates an incredible environment, not just on campus, but throughout the city of Milwaukee.
Let's go, baby!
I just like the fact that everybody came back and everybody looked good. You see the guys, like everybody look, most people in shape and stuff, look good. Got beautiful wives and kids, and Marquette 2003 Final Four team did all right for themselves in life.
There are so many people that made this program what it is because they believed in the vision of what it could be. And I think that's exactly why Marquette is what it is and what it will continue to be a program that's a force in the country.
It's great to be back, but to be able to see everybody. These are the things you hear about when you see other schools. They have traditions, they have championships, they have, stories that they tell, and I've always wanted to be a part of it, especially here at Marquette, and so it's special.
Coach, you had the opportunity to be there for the golf outing, and also the night before there was a private reception where your team got to meet and interact with that 2003 Final Four team, hear from head coach Tom Crean at the time, and all of those great players. What do you think that meant for your team to see that group 20 years later and hear those stories and hear about their experience?
It meant a great deal. I mean, there's a common bond that players have, whether it's Bo Ellis, from the 70s, or Dwayne Wade from the early 2000s, or Imarion Ellis on our team now. And of course, D. Wade was here in May speaking, and he gave such an unbelievable graduation speech. We found out that he and all of his 2003 teammates were coming back for this reception. So, they were nice enough to include us and our team in getting a chance to spend time around those guys, and then having Coach Crean come back as well was just an extra bonus. And so we spent probably about 90 minutes just getting a chance to kind of rub elbows with those guys. And then I think, Sophia, most importantly, and you saw this the next day as well at the golf tournament, the camaraderie that those guys had and still have, and it's just so powerful. The bond that those guys had meant everything in helping them overcome the adversity that they face, just like any other team faces over the course of a season. The focus and the dedication to growth was so incredibly powerful. And then, of course, their commitment to what goes into winning. Everybody wants to win. Everybody says, hey, we want to go get a championship. But the commitment to staying true to all the key components of what it takes to win and the sacrifice involved in that, it was just great for our team to hear all about that.
We're going to get the opportunity to celebrate them coming up on the Providence game on January 18th. So for your team, do you think there are lessons that they can take away of continuing that legacy, continuing to build on that?
I think it was really, really beneficial for our team. And then, having that 2003 team and Coach Crean in the building on January 18th, that'll be really, really powerful. And for our fans, it'll be, an awesome experience.
Well, things are looking pretty good for Marquette basketball right now, currently on a 4-game winning streak. And Coach, it's going to be a big week here. You've got UConn coming up, Xavier as well, and then that Providence game will be honoring the Final Four team. So thanks so much, Coach, for your time. That's Inside Marquette Basketball here with head coach Shaka Smart.
This has been a presentation from Learfield.